As we mentioned earlier, Cook County State's Attorney Kim Foxx announces her office will not file criminal charges against the police officers who killed Adam Toledo and Anthony Alvarez last year. Foxx says her office considered first and second degree murder charges against Officer Eric Stillman in Toledo's death and for Officer Evan Solano in Alvarez's death, but the office ultimately decided that evidence was, quote, insufficient to support criminal charges. And joining us now with reaction are Mateo Zapata, a photojournalist. He wrote an op-ed last year for the Chicago Tribune titled "We Are Adam." For many youth across Chicago's south and west sides, Adam Toledo's life trajectory is too familiar. And Baltasar Enriquez, president of the Little Village Community Council. Welcome both of you to Chicago tonight, and I want to read a little bit from Foxx's decision today. She said, quote, "The charging decision made by the state's attorney's office must be rooted in the calculus of whether Officer Stillman's perception of whether he was in danger of imminent harm, which caused him to fatally shoot Adam Toledo, was reasonable given the totality of the circumstances surrounding the incident. Based on all of that, my office will not be filing charges in this case against Officer Stillman." Again, this is the Adam Toledo case. Baltasar, your reaction to this decision?
So we here at the Little Village community, we're outraged. Number one, Officer Stillman suffered from PTSD. He had just done 2 tours in Afghanistan, and he was a trigger-happy officer. We could see that. We know that. We could hear it in his potty mouth. He tackled one individual but couldn't tackle the second one. Come on, man. So it shows that he clearly is a trigger-happy officer, and therefore he should be charged with the murder of Adam Toledo. His action proved that he is an individual that acts before thinking. And here, yeah, we see that he gives the order to the child to raise his hands. The child raises his hand, and he still shoots him. We know it was a split-second decision, but just like we said, that's a 98-pound child. He could have tackled him down. He could have done 1,000 different things, but he decided to shoot him, kill him, because he's a trigger-happy officer.
But I have to emphasize here, Baltasar, that the state's attorney found that there was no criminal intent, or at least she didn't feel she could prove criminal intent here, and that he did have reasonable he had reason to believe that he might be in danger. Mateo Zapata, your reaction?
I think that her decision is going to further normalize Chicago police officers knowing that they won't be held accountable if they kill Black and brown kids in the city of Chicago. You know, Officer Stillman signed up to be a Chicago police officer. And if a 13-year-old with his hands up, unarmed, is going to strike that much fear in him, then he shouldn't be a police officer, period.
And in the case of Anthony Alvarez, Foxx did acknowledge, although not guilting, the shooting did bring up problems with CPD's foot pursuit policy, and that the officers were not completely free of any kind of culpability here. She said, quote, "I want to take a moment to make something abundantly clear about the shooting of Anthony Alvarez. While the evidence is insufficient to support criminal charges, it is important to highlight that the officers themselves created the conditions which the use of deadly force became necessary." Baltasar Enriquez, your response to that statement?
So the officer shoots him in the back. He didn't show any threat towards the officer. And then when the officer shoots him, he doesn't know where he's at, loses his glasses, and right there it shows that the negligence. And then it shows that he killed him because he knew Anthony beforehand. So he knew his address, he knew where he lived at. He could have chased him to his house or arrived to his house. But the officer decided to kill him. And again, we have that trigger-happy officers. Solano has been already caught where he pulls his gun out on another civilian. So he should not be representing the Chicago Police Department, and he should be terminated and charged with murder automatically.
Mateo Zapata, you brought up the fact that you believe this might normalize the police shootings of Black and brown children. What has the overall community reaction been, do you think, especially in Little Village and in Hermosa and parts of the Northwest Side where these 2 incidents took place?
I think people are disappointed, heartbroken. I mean, there's no accountability here for either of these situations. You know, like Baltasar said, Anthony was shot in the back. You know, Chicago police officers cannot and should not be shooting people in the back. Anthony had not used his weapon. He, you know, didn't endanger himself, and he wasn't presenting a danger to the police officers. He had his back towards them. And this is definitely, in my opinion, going to normalize how Chicago police officers treat Black and brown people in their communities.
And in response to these shootings, Baltazar, the mayor attempted to reform the CPD's foot pursuit policy or institute one in the first place. Have there been enough reforms that give you confidence that these foot pursuits will be safe?
I mean, we could write up 1,000 foot pursuits, but if the police officers are not following it, are not respecting it, what's the point? And we saw it on the Ella French situation. They were supposed to wait for backup, and they didn't. And that's why Ella French is dead, because they think they're RoboCops. They think they're beyond the law. So that's what happens when you have those tough cops. So we need to have this community-based police department, not a military-based police department. So we keep asking that the police department reaches out to the community, engages in the community, participates in the community, become the community, instead of being tough guys. We don't need tough guys. That's why we need to civilize our police department and make sure that they're held accountable for every action they do. And we should not be paying millions of taxes on stupidity that they do. So that's the problem, that we keep paying the price and being the victim at the same time for actions that they do, and they're not being held accountable. So they have immunity. So the police department has the biggest gang in the city of Chicago, and then they have the union, which is another gang. So FOP is stronger than COPA. The FOP is stronger than the mayor. So if we start having some balance, check and balances with the police department, we will go somewhere. But if they're allowed to kill, then yeah.
We should mention the FOP has battled all of these agencies. Mateo, you wrote in your op-ed that Adam Toledo was sort of the result of systemic failure all around him. Explain that.
I mean, Chicago has enabled the culture of gang violence that exists today. You're talking about the same police department that was encouraging gangs to claim their territory during the social unrest of 2020. Police need to stop being presented as a solution to combat the violence that's happening in our communities. I'm a strong believer that we need to defund the police in the city, and we need to provide funding for extracurricular learning along with violence prevention initiatives. Police are not a solution to the violence taking place in our communities. They enable it, and they cause it, and they create the conditions for situations like what happened to Adam and Anthony to occur.
All right, we're going to have to leave the discussion there. Our thanks to Baltazar Enriquez and Mateo Zapata. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.